It's February, and that means yes, it is Black History Month, but it also means it's the month of love. In this episode, we picked our top 10 Black romantic movies of all time. Hi, my name is Jared and welcome to Black Excellence, where we share interesting things in Black culture and society in every episode. Make sure to subscribe and hit that bell so you can get notified when we release new videos. Like any list we make, I'm sure some of you will disagree with our picks. Let us know which movies we left out of our top 10 and which ones you would kick off our list. In no particular order, let's start with, at number 1 we have Brown Sugar. We're going to start off with a classic. Of course, that is Brown Sugar. Taye Diggs and Sanaa Lathan are childhood friends who bonded over their love for hip-hop. As adults and both working in the music industry, they are still close friends, but just friends. Will they become more than friends? That's the journey this film takes you on. Brown Sugar is more than a romantic comedy. It's a love letter to hip-hop and New York. It's a movie worth watching again and again. At number 2, we have How Stella Got Her Groove Back. How Stella Got Her Groove Back tells the story of Stella and Winston. Stella meets Winston while vacationing in Jamaica. Despite their cultural and age differences, they end up falling in love. Curl up on the couch and let this love story take you on an adventure somewhere warm and sunny. How Stella Got Her Groove Back was adapted from Terry McMillan's best-selling 1996 novel of the same name. And this was actually Taye Diggs' film debut. If only the true story that inspired the movie had a happy ending. If you don't know about the real story that inspired this classic, it's time to Google. At number 3, we have Lady Sings the Blues. This true classic is loosely based on Billie Holiday's 1956 autobiography. It was produced by Motown Production and stars Diana Ross as the legendary jazz singer. The story begins with Holiday's traumatic youth and goes through to her eventual stardom. What lands Lady Sings the Blues on this list is the telling of Holiday's difficult relationship with Louis McKay, her boyfriend and manager. Although this movie is not 100% accurate to Billie Holiday's life, it's still reflective of her experiences and one worth watching over and over, especially for jazz music lovers. At number 4, we have Love Jones. If you're looking for a smart, funny, and poetic romantic comedy, Love Jones is the one to pick. This story is between Darius and Nia, a poet and a photographer who meet at a night of poetry reading in Chicago. It has funny, memorable lines and is the perfect film to depict 90s Black love. It's clear to see how movies like Love Jones have inspired current Black movies and shows like Insecure. The writing here is just phenomenal. At number 5, we have Queen and Slim. If you're looking for romance with some thrill, then Queen and Slim is your movie. The film is about a young couple who go on their first date after meeting on Tinder. The date didn't go so well, but ends with a bang. They actually shoot and kill a police officer in the heat of an argument in self-defense. That's the start of a plot that has the two on the run for the rest of the film. Queen and Slim sees the love between the leads develop over time as they are forced to stick together and navigate life on the run. Besides the romance, this film confronts current issues and keeps you at the edge of your seat. At number 6, we have everybody's favorite, Love and Basketball. Can you imagine us doing a top 10 list of Black romantic films and leaving out Love and Basketball? In another classic starring Sanaa Lathan, Love and Basketball follows the story of two childhood friends who fall in love over the years but might be torn apart as they both follow a career in basketball. This film has reached cult classic status at this point, and its popularity continued to grow years after it was released in 2000. Get ready to shed some tears on this one, as it is famous for making even the most stoic of us shed a tear or two. At number 7, we have Jason's Lyric. Jason's Lyric is much more than a romantic movie. It explores the idea of childhood trauma, family, and finding oneself at a crossroad of our past and our future. Jason's Lyric revolves around the lives of two brothers who choose to go down two very different paths in life after experiencing a traumatic event in their childhoods. The older one finds love with Lyric, while the younger one finds himself deep in a life of crime. But would Jason, the one who found Lyric, risk his love to save his brother from a violent life? Jason's Lyric is steamy and can be a bit violent, but the strong themes that drive it make it a worthy pick. At number 8, we have The Photograph. Released in 2020, The Photograph tells the story of a journalist working on a story about a life of a famous photographer who recently passed away. That introduces him to a successful art curator who is the photographer's estranged daughter. They fall in love quickly, but staying in love and together is where the challenges are. The Photograph follows two love stories decades apart, but are linked together. So you get not one, but two love stories in this movie. Issa Rae and Lakeith Stanfield have great chemistry, and the story unfolds naturally, making it one of our top picks, especially for a recent classic. At number 9, we have Southside with You. If you're looking for a movie to inspire your next first date, look no further than Southside with You, the movie that tells the story of probably the best first date that ever happened. And we all know exactly how that love story ends because it's the love story of none other than the President, Barack Obama, and First Lady Michelle Obama. The date took place in the summer of 1989 in, of course, Chicago. This biographical romantic drama is one to watch to feel hopeful about the possibilities of romance. At number 10, we have The Best Man. Who hasn't obviously watched and rewatched this absolute classic? This wild ride of a movie is about college friends who come together for the wedding of the century. But the wedding weekend sees much more than the union of the perfect couple. It also sees the revelation of an old secret that stands to tear apart a friendship and a relationship. The sequel, The Best Man Holiday, isn't quite as good as this one, but it might be worth watching along with this original one over a weekend. So I hope we gave you enough variety in the type of romantic story you will find interesting with our list. Like I said before, let us know in the comments what you thought of our list. That's it for this episode. We'll be back with another episode in Black culture and society.